Welcome to another Gearwig Battle Report, a 50-point game between James's Skorne and Mike's Khador, at Crossroad Games in Standish, Maine. James brought Prime Hexeris. He has a Feral Geist there. He brought the Mammoth Gargantuan, a Basilisk Drake, a Willbreaker, a Cyclops Raider, a Titan Cannoneer, a full unit of Venator Reavers with the UA, and the Flare Cannon crew. This is a bizarre list, almost like it were specifically tailored for some perk. Oh, good lord! That is a lot of Doom Reavers. Mike brought Butcher2's Theme Force, a brutal list that has been hacking its way through our local meta lately. He's got a Kodiak and a Berserker in his battle group. He brought Fenris, of course, the Doom Reaver on a horse, and then 7 units of Doom Reavers. James deploys like this, with the Gargantuan in the center near his caster, and the unit of Reavers along the top. Mike's final deployment looks like this after all his Doom Reavers have advanced deployed. The Jacks are on the flanks. Fenris and the Butcher are taking a centralized position, and he crammed as many Doom Reavers as he can without having to stick them in the forest or behind buildings. And the game was played on the fire support scenario, which is mostly meaningless because this Doom Reaver list rarely makes it past turn 3, one way or another. James starts by advancing his Reavers. They have a mini feat that allows them to increase their range by 4 inches, so maybe he could get a shot. They end here, and it's way too far away to take a shot. He can reform up a little closer. He doesn't want to be so close that the Doom Reavers could run and engage them. He needs a big round of shooting from these guys, so he estimates that getting them here will keep them safe, but allow them to be fully operational next turn. The artillery piece runs. He took the objective that boosts its damage rolls, so he's sure to get it within 4 inches on this first turn so it can shoot with boosted rolls for the rest of the game. Hexeris burns some fury by putting Soul Slave on the Mammoth. He can channel spells through it, though most of Mike's army is immune to spells. He then puts the Raider's Snipe Animus on it, and puts the Diminish Animus on his caster in the unlikely event that he takes some damage. Then he advances forward. The Mammoth advances forward. He'll take some shots with that range-boosting Animus. He fires a shot, but it is just out of range. The 4-inch AoE deviates harmlessly. He buys a second shot. This one also deviates. It deviates in the right direction, but still doesn't clip anybody. And the final shot also deviates towards some Doom Reavers, but again, it doesn't hit any. The Cyclops Raider activates and runs. The Titan Cannoneer runs as well. And so does the Drake. I always get these basilisks mixed up, but this is the one with the spray attack. The Beast Handlers activate and run way ahead. Maybe they'll be able to get in on the killing action next turn. James runs his Feral Geist and then his Willbreaker to finish off his turn. His gunline is all set up to blow apart the Doom Reavers next turn. Mike starts by running some of his Doom Reavers. The Berserker follows and runs right behind them. Both the Berserker and the Kodiak can run for free, which is nice because Butcher needs his unpredictable amount of fury for his own purposes. The second unit of Doom Reavers ends its run like this. Mike can't help but to clump them up here. There are so many, and he can't really run through rough terrain effectively, so he needs to stay to the open ground. Mike fully expects most of them to die, especially when Hexeris blows his feet. But he only needs a few to get in there to cause mayhem and open up a lane for Butcher to finish the job. The ones along the top run up like this. Out on the flank here, they may end up being outside of Hexeris' control area, and then might survive his feet turn. And he ends with a wacky ocean of screaming madmen like this. The Kodiak runs right behind them. And Fenris runs up onto the hill. The Butcher casts Boundless Charge on himself and then charges the Mammoth. He can move as far as a run like this. I think Mike is just doing this out of habit. With Boundless Charge, he gets to ignore terrain, which is a little better than a run. Either way, he's in position to use his feet on turn 2 and threaten a possible assassination. James starts his turn by running his beast handlers back. I'm not sure if he wanted to maybe engage them in melee or whatnot, but either way he decided not to and pushed them back. Hexeris activates, planning on using his feet. James will be able to take control of every Doom Reaver that dies in his control range and make an attack with it that can lead to ridiculous chains of destruction. So he pushes them up as far as he can to get as many Doom Reavers as he can, although it does push him up dangerously close to the Butcher. He casts the Far Strike Animus on both the Mammoth and the Cyclops, giving them increased range on their ranged attacks. He sits on 3 Fury for transfers. The Reavers take the aiming bonus and begin firing into the mass of Doom Reavers. They'll need 6s. First one misses. Then a hit, and at dice -4, he boxes the Doom Reaver. They check to see if he's in Hexeris' control area. If he is, James could advance him 3 inches, immune to free strikes, and then make an attack. He is in the control area, and James has him swing on his unit mate, needing a 6 to hit. He does hit, and automatically destroys him. And this destroyed Doom Reaver is out of the control range, so James doesn't take control of him. James fires a second shot from his unit. He hits, and at dice -4, does enough to box him. This one's out of the control area as well. A third shot into the Reavers, hits, and damages. James takes control, advances a couple inches, and kills another Doom Reaver. Now this newly destroyed Doom Reaver is taken control of as well. James advances him out toward the outside, attacks and kills a Doom Reaver on the edge, who isn't in the control area, and this ends the chain. Another Reaver takes a shot and hits, but fails to damage. The next Reaver shot misses entirely. Then a shot that hits and damages. James turns that Doom Reaver on his buddy and kills him. That second one then turns around, looking to continue the chain of dead Doom Reavers, but his attack roll misses. Back to the Reavers again. Another shot hits and damages. That Doom Reaver kills a buddy that is just out of the control area, ending the chain. Back to the Reavers again. It occurs to me only now that both of these units have the word Reaver in their name, and that is very confusing. He is able to damage. This Doom guy turns and kills another Doom guy, who in turn kills another, and then another, and then another, ending the chain only when the last murdered Doom guy happens to be out of the control area. The Mammoth activates and then lumbers forward. Boom, 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 get up there. He measures his own melee range while he moves. He's careful not to get any of the Doom Reavers in melee. As a Gargantuan, he can fire out of melee with no problem, but he doesn't want his allies to worry about the firing into melee penalty. He then takes his first shot on the Butcher. He boosts, but he still needs a 13 to hit, and misses. The blast deviates and clips 4 Doom Reavers. It'll roll dice -6 for damage on each, and do no damage, and then more no damage, and the last 2 also take no damage. He fires another shot at the Butcher. He doesn't bother boosting the attack roll and needs boxcars to hit. It'll deviate, just a little bit, clipping a Doom Reaver. He boosts that blast damage roll, needing a 7 to kill the Doom Reaver, and does. He takes control of him, turns him around, and whacks the Butcher with him. He hits, but at dice minus 10, does exactly 0 damage to it. The last damage shot misses the Butcher again and deviates onto 3 Doom Reavers. He boosts the first damage roll, needing a 7, but still manages not to do any damage. The second blast damage also does nothing, but the third one finally kills a Doom Reaver. A Doom Reaver hits his buddy, needing a 6, and does. That Doom guy walks over and kills his buddy, who in turn kills another one. The chain continues, he kills another. And another. Then the last one takes a swing on Fenris, but he misses. The Flare Cannon goes next. He can make a D3 strafe shots, and gets 3 shots. He'll need a 6, but miss. The second shot will hit. The objective allows him to boost his damage rolls, which is plenty to kill a Doom Reaver. That Reaver swings on his buddy, but misses. The last cannon shot hits, automatically damages a Reaver. Those Reavers keep chaining into their buddies until they run out of targets to kill. The Cyclops activates next, looking to start a chain of his own. He'll boost an attack roll, needing an 8. And hits just barely. He damages, and here we go again, except that Doom Reaver misses his first attack and the chain ends. Then the Willbreaker activates and pokes the Mammoth into shooting again. He fires a shot into the heart of the Doom Reavers. Needs a 10 and misses. It'll deviate. It ends up clipping 3 Doom Reavers, and will roll dice minus 6 for blast damage, doing no damage again, and then the last one takes damage. That Doom Reaver kills his buddy, who in turn kills another one. That new guy advances down to kill one of his friends. This is getting ugly. One of the longer chains we see. That dead buddy can walk down here. Each of these guys is allowed a 3-inch advance when they are boxed like this. We get down to this guy by the forest before we finally miss an attack roll. Feralgeist runs in front of Hexeris, hoping to take up some space, maybe deny a charge later, although unlikely. The Basilisk advances up and makes his spray attack. He targets a Doom Reaver who's out of range, but the resulting spray still clips 2, so he'll make 2 attack rolls. He boosts the first one, and it hits. He boosts the second, which also hits. Both Doom Reavers are damaged simultaneously, so James gets to decide which to activate first. He chooses that one, but misses, ending that chain. The second Doom Reaver killed by the spray goes. He advances up a little and takes a swing. He destroys his unit mate, who in turn takes a swing on his nearby buddy. Kills him. He's able to advance 3 to continue the chain, before we finally get a missed attack roll. Cannoneer advances behind the Reavers. He fires a shot at the Warjack down the field. It's well short and deviates harmlessly. And so ends James's ridiculous feat turn. That was beyond absurd in killing Doom Reavers. But after all that, the Butcher is within possible charge range of Hexeris, and this game could be over real fast. We'll have to see how much focus Butcher gets from his Arcane Dementia roll. Mike starts with the all-important Arcane Dementia roll. Oh, he only has 3 focus this turn. That's very unfortunate. The Butcher activates and uses his feat. Hexeris is just out of charge range. The Butcher would have to cast Boundless Charge to get to him. Instead, he casts Ravager, which gives him Berserk. And now he charges the Feralgeist. That Feralgeist being there was not good for James. He should have just left it open. So the Butcher can get within charge range of the Feralgeist. If he's able to kill it, he'll be able to move another inch, and then make a Berserk attack. Every time the Butcher attacks, he makes an attack roll against everyone in his 360 reach melee range, which for right now is just the Feralgeist. His attack hits and blows him up. His feat gives him a rage token he'll use later. The Butcher then advances 1 inch because there's no one in his melee range. This movement brings him within melee range of one of the Reavers, the Mammoth, and Hexeris. He swings on the Mammoth first. And hits. At dice minus 4, he'll end up doing 6 damage. Then the attack on Hexeris hits, and at straight dice, it only does 4 damage, which Hexeris takes. The attack on the Reaver hits and just obliterates him. The Butcher must then make a Berserk attack, an attack that targets everyone in his melee range. First attack on the Mammoth hits, and at dice -4 does 6 damage. The attack on Hexeris hits, and at straight dice does 10 damage, which he must transfer to the Cannoneer. Nothing died, so no more berserk attacks. He buys an attack, it hits the Mammoth. Dice -4, it does 4 damage. He then makes an attack roll on Hexeris. He needs a 6 to hit, but misses. That ends the Butcher's activation. The Butcher causes terror. We should have made this check when he moved into melee range, but we make it now and they pass. The Doom Reaver runs up to them, forcing them to make another check, but they pass this as well. This unit of Doom Reavers on the flank declares a charge. One's able to charge the Cyclops. The other 2 declare charges on the Basilisk. The one in the back is being clipped by the Force, but he can just barely draw a line of sight, and even though he doesn't have Pathfinder, he has enough movement to just barely get there. The first attack on the Cyclops hits. It'll roll 4 dice -3 and do 10 damage. The first Doom Reaver attacking the Basilisk hits. And at dice -3, the Charging Weapon Master is able to do 13 damage to him. The second Doom Reaver on the Basilisk hits, and at dice -3, does another 13 damage, killing the Basilisk. This gives the Butcher another rage token from his feat. That Doom Reaver must make a berserk attack. He targets the objective, automatically hits, and at dice -5, does 6 damage. Mike needs to get some models near Hexeris to take advantage of his feat and finish the assassination. The only model that has any chance of getting close to him, though, is Fenris. He already has 3 rage tokens, the maximum amount he can give Fenris, so now he just runs the jacks. Fenris is too far away to charge Hexeris, so he won't be able to make any attacks on his activation. The feat will let him make attacks later. He just runs, making sure to get him within melee range. At the end of his turn, Butcher hands out rage tokens. He gives all 3 to Fenris. Fenris can now spend them to make attack rolls. Fenris will need a 7 to hit. The first attack misses with a 6, that's unfortunate. The second attack hits. At dice -3, he does 9 damage that Hexeris must transfer. And the last attack on Hexeris hits, and is able to do 10 damage, but he can transfer that too. It runs him out of transfers, but unfortunately it runs Mike out of attacks. He came close there, but of course Butcher's now out in the open on 0 focus, right next to a giant gargantuan. James leeches in Fury, but forgets to take the 1 Fury under the Mammoth's base, holding him up level. So the Mammoth has to take a frenzy check. This is kind of silly, no reason to even flirt with this, but he's fine, he's a well-behaved elephant. The Beast Handlers decide to get involved in the game finally, advance up, and enrage the Mammoth. He can and must charge for free and gets +2 damage. He charges the Butcher, though not far enough to get boosted damage. He'll need an 8 to hit and boost the attack roll. It hits, and at dice +3, it'll do 10 damage. He makes another attack and boosts it, but fails this time. He doesn't bother boosting the tusks, and they miss. He buys an additional attack and boosts. This hits and will do dice +3 damage again, for exactly enough damage to kill the Butcher. This was at first glance a pretty ridiculous game. The tailored Skorne gunline was specifically designed to exploit the Doom Reaver's one weakness, that they are vulnerable to ranged attacks. It also featured a caster with a feat that crippled them unbelievably. If their mat wasn't so high, or if their armor wasn't so low, those ridiculous chains of destruction wouldn't have been as long, and his feat would have been more reasonable. But Doom Reavers are specifically designed to be annihilated by that feat. That said, I thought Mike handled it well. This Doom Reaver list often kind of goes on autopilot. You run on turn 1, you charge on turn 2, and you win. There aren't a whole lot of finesse models in the list, and not too many tactical decisions to make. In this particular case, this bad matchup, Mike knew most of his Doom Reavers would be dead after his first turn, so he was really aggressive with the Butcher while camping focus to make sure there was no real chance that he would die. He counted on Hexeris having to move up to make the most of his feat, and when he did, it gave him a very reasonable assassination run. If Mike's dice were a little better, or if he had rolled at all higher on that Arcane Dementia roll, he probably would have pulled off the assassination. Super bad matchup games aren't a whole lot of fun in the moment when everything's sort of going wrong, but they do often lead to new insights about a list and a greater understanding of how it's played, and I think are generally good for growth. Thank you for watching. For more battle reports, articles, and guides, check out Gearwig.com. You can email me at boss@gearwig.com or check out our Facebook or Twitter pages. If you want to help the site, tell a friend and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.